Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. With patch 9.2 right around the corner, Blizzard has released the full list of class changes planned for the next update. And there's a good chance there will be even more class tuning over the next few days before that Tuesday-Wednesday patch release. This new content update for World of Warcraft also brings in tier sets as well as double legendaries, which are both going to affect the way that our classes will perform. So in today's video, I wanted to put a full list together of all the different changes and updates happening for every single class in patch 9.2. This includes the tier sets, the legendary changes, and specific class updates. But right before we get into today's class list, most of you guys watching this video are still not subscribed. And if you're watching this recap video anyway, you might as well subscribe as well as hit the bell, especially if you want to see more regular patch 9.2 content, guides, and updates, as well as potentially future WoW expansion announcements. Starting off with the Death Knight. The Death Knight Necrolord Covenant ability got buffed by quite a bit, and so did the Night Fae and the Necrolord legendaries, with the Kyrian getting a bit of a slight rework. The Blood Death Knight tier set will spawn an extra Dancing Rune weapon. Your Heart Strikes both extend the duration of that runic weapon, while also increasing your strength. Brass Death Knight tier set allows them to gain more critical strike during Remorseless Winter, and also gain free cleaves from consuming Killing Machine procs. They also fixed an issue where you weren't getting as many Killing Machine procs if you were playing dual wield on your Death Knight. A lot of the various Unholy Death Knight conduits saw pretty big damage increases, while their tier set is focused more on execute damage and Soul Reaper procs. Every time your Soul Reaper does execute damage, it amps up your pet damage as well. When it comes to Demon Hunters, the Sinful Brand ability will no longer be overwritten by a lower duration brand that comes from Metamorphosis. Also, the Kyrian Legendary is capped to 20% versatility. The Havoc tier set focuses more on increasing damage of Chaos Strike and Blade Dance, as well as their Metamorphosis counterparts, and also shortening the cooldown of your Metamorphosis. The Vengeance Demon Hunter tier set allows for more soul shard generation from Immolation Aura, and consuming souls gives you cooldown reduction on Immolation Aura as well as Fell Devastation. While this isn't a huge class change, the Cheetah form for Druids has been updated. Both the Kyrian Legendary as well as Venthyr Legendary saw slight nerfs in patch 9.2. The Feral Druid tier set is looking to reduce the cooldown of Berserk, while also allowing Berserk to dish out big AoE bleed damage. The Balanced Druid tier set looks to give him more resource generation, while also making Star Surge and Starfall cheaper to cast. Just like the Feral tier set, the Guardian tier set is looking to enhance the value of Berserk output, while also allowing Barkskin to become more of an offensive cooldown. Restoration Druids saw a damage and a healing buff in patch 9.2, with Lifebloom ability seeing an extra buff on top of it. Many of their talents have been buffed in effectiveness, as well as their tier set will give more burst healing output to a healing over time focus spec. The only new thing for Hunters is their tier set. The Marksmanship tier set focuses more on cleave damage output, as well as aim shot and rapid fire buffs. The Beast Mastery Hunter tier set is focused on increasing the damage of kill command while contributing to further cooldown reduction. The Survival Hunter tier set is more focused on grenade damage as well as more frequent grenade resets. The Kyrian Mage Legendary can now also do single target damage on top of that cleave damage. For Frost Mage, we see a nerf to Frozen Orb as well as a nerf to Blizzard damage, as well as the cooldown reduction of Blizzard's interaction with Frozen Orb. Comet Storm as an ability and a talent should also no longer remove Winter's Chill debuff. The Frost Mage tier set focuses more on enhancing Comet Storm, the talent as well as the free proc you get from the tier set by providing with it a damage debuff to the enemy target. The Fire Mage tier set is focusing on enhancing the uptime and the value of combustion. The Archmage tier set is focused on amplifying Touch of the Magi value. For Monks, the Necrolord Bone Dust Brew ability damage has been buffed slightly, but has been made so you can no longer crit. Bone Dust Brew cannot be parried anymore, and the Necrolord Bone Dust Brew legendary will now extend the duration of any active brews. We also saw a nerf to the Ventir legendary, as well as Expel Harm made less buggy. The Windwalker Zuen and Bone Dust Brew interaction has been bug fixed as well, and the Windwalker tier set buffs the output of Fists of Fury, as well as rampant damage increases. The Brewmaster Monk tier set focuses on buffing the damage and survivability provided now through the ability of Keg Smash. The Mistweaver tier set focuses on passive healing increases and thunder-focused T gameplay. For Paladins, the Ventir ability of Ashen will now heal yourself and allies for a little bit less. Together with the Ventir legendary, you can now cancel the Ventir Ashen ability by pressing the button again instead of by walking out of your Ashen. Holy Paladin's healing output has gotten buffed by 6%, but many of your damaging abilities took a bit of a nerf, and Avenging Wrath rank 3 buff has been removed out of the game. Previously, for Holy Paladins, it would increase the effectiveness of wings by an additional 10%. The Holy Paladin tier set provides you more cooldown reduction on Avenging Wrath. The Retribution Paladin tier set provides you more resources and buff procs, although at a bit of RNG. And the Protection Paladin tier set provides you more block, which is great for physical damage, as well as more resources and damage through frequent judgments. For all the specs of Priest, the Necrolord legendary got nerfed by quite a bit. Holy Priest saw a variety of various buffs, like damage increases, healing increases, a lot of mana reduction costs, as well as Symbols of Hope having a shorter cooldown. Many of your talents also saw huge improvements, and talents like Afterlife now function as like a pseudo battle res. Overall, this is a pretty big increase for the output and the performance of Holy Priests, and I wonder if we will see more of them in the patch 9.2. The Holy Priest tier set plays more into improving the Holy Word effectiveness. The Disc Priest tier set looks to play more into the Atonement damage/healing interaction playstyle, while also providing priests more guaranteed procs. The Shadow Priest tier set allows for more Mind Blast procs whenever you spend your resources, which will also spawn your shadow that will simply provide more damage to your current target. For rogues, we don't have a lot of changes, except for their new tier sets. The Assassination Rogue tier set will buff the effectiveness of your bleeds, poisons, as well as greatly increase your Vendetta output. The Outlaw Rogue tier set procs more combo points as well as more finishers, which feeds well into the cooldown reduction baseline mechanic. The Subtlety Rogue tier set is looking to boost more procs of Shadow Strikes, and those Shadow Strikes will also boost the uptime of your Shadow Blades. Shaman saw a variety of changes with patch 9.2. Things like Frost Shock will now do more damage for all 3 specs. Flame Shock now has a bigger cap increase. For Ventir Elemental Shamans, the Covenant ability will now generate your Maelstrom. The Ventir Legendary for Shamans has been buffed, as so was the Necrolord Legendary. For Enhancement Shamans, we saw a variety of Conduits getting buffed, which is going to be overall a damage increase. Frost Shock and Flame Shock will no longer share cooldown for enhancement. Also, many of your spells and abilities saw a huge mana cost reduction. If you use Lava Lash on a target afflicted by Flame Shock, that Flame Shock dot will now be able to spread to nearby enemy targets. The talents of Ice Strike and Sundering will now interact with your Flame Tongue enchant. With the Enhancement Shaman tier set, whenever you spend Maelstrom, you have a chance at summoning Ghost Wolves, and those Ghost Wolves will give you more damage procs to generate more Maelstrom. For Elemental Shaman, the talent of Ice Fury got nerfed to compensate to the base buffs of Frost Shock. The Fire Elemental now has a lower mana cost on their abilities to better interact with the tier set. And the buff you get from the Storm Elemental is now attached to the Elemental instead of having a baseline duration. Elemental Shaman tier set lets you maintain your elementals far longer, and those elementals buff the damage of your Lava Burst. The Restoration Shaman tier set adds cooldown reduction into your totems via Chain Heal, and your water totems will also proc a Chain Heal for free. Warlocks will be able to, with this update, either summon the Incubus or the Succubus with the Summon Syad ability, or you can go to Orgrimmar or Stormwind to select which demon you would rather summon. The Incubus/Succubus has been buffed. Its Seduce ability will now have a bigger damage threshold before breaking and will cause the enemy to walk towards the Succubus or the Incubus. If this demon can slow their primary target, then this demon will also do more damage to the target, up to 10 maximum stacks. This does not work on certain bosses that cannot be slowed by the player or by the demon. The Warlock Ventier legendary now has a damage cap to prevent some cheesy interactions. The Affliction Warlock tier set is looking to buff the damage output of Malefic Rapture while amping dot duration. The Destruction Warlock tier set allows you from spending soul shards to summon Blasphemy Infernal, which functions just like an Infernal, which will generate you more resources so you can summon more blasphemies in the future. The Demonology tier set simply summons more imps and fellhounds with the 2-piece and the 4-piece tier set. For the class of Warrior, if your spec is Fury, your Crushing Blow ability, modified by Reckless Abandon talent, will still do damage despite you being rooted. And the Fury Warrior tier set will give you more charges on Raging Blow, and Raging Blows now have a chance to proc Recklessness or its talent variants. The Arms Warrior tier set amplifies the effectiveness of Colossus Smash and provides an additional strength buff through overpower resets. And finally, the Protection Warrior tier set allows you, as you spend Rage, to empower your next Shield Slam or Thunderclap to do more damage, be more effective, and gain free defense. Also, your avatar will proc that empowered mechanic, and as a bonus, avatar will now give you additional 10% of damage and 10% damage reduction. And at least for now, that's going to be all the class changes that are planned for the patch 9.2. There's a big chance that Blizzard adds even more class-defining changes, some massive buffs and nerfs right before the release of patch 9.2. So we'll likely end up making a video on those updates if that happens in the near future. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments which class are you the most excited for when it comes to patch 9.2. Or which class do you think deserves an extra additional buff before this patch comes out live. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, there's a link in the description to our Discord community channel. If you guys are regular viewers of the content and want to let me know what you think about this video, join our Discord to become part of the community and let me know in Discord what you thought about this update. DMs are always open. But anyway, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another one.